What's up, dudes? Today, we're talking about some of the best horror games on Nintendo Switch. Real quick, if you're a returning viewer and have not subscribed yet, please do so. It'll help the channel grow, and I'd greatly appreciate it. We got 7 games that we're going to be talking about today, so I recommend you sit back, relax, and let's dive into it. The first game I want to talk about today is Blair Witch. This game is absolutely amazing. You play as a retired police officer who goes on a hunt for a missing boy who disappeared in the Black Hills Forest near Burkittsville, Maryland. This game is definitely creepy and definitely terrifying. The gameplay is really solid, the frame rates as well as the story. The further you progress in the game, the more the story unfolds, and it gets crazy. I don't want to spoil too much, but this is definitely one that I recommend every horror fan playing, especially if you're a fan of Blair Witch Project. Definitely go check this one out. And the next game I want to talk about is OXIDE Room 104. So this is an escape room horror game where you play as a protagonist Matthew, who unexpectedly wakes up in the bathtub of room 104. This game is complete dread the whole entire time. The music is very unsettling. There's going to be puzzles you have to solve to escape different rooms. And I will say the creepiest thing is the monsters. You have no idea when they're going to come at you next. There's psychological horror, jump scares, any kind of horror aspect you can imagine inside of a video game, this game definitely provides it. It's a pretty short runtime, but there's definitely multiple endings, which increases the replay value. So if you don't get the ending that you want at the end, definitely replay it because there's a really good chance that you'll get the one that you want second time around. Another great game that I definitely recommend to all horror fans. Go check it out. And coming in at number 3 is going to be Ikai. This game is a first-person psychological horror game that heavily takes inspiration from Japanese folklore. You play as Naoko, who's a young priestess tasked with protecting the shrine from various evil spirits and the yokai. This is another great, unsettling game. As you're traveling and exploring this creepy shrine, you don't know what's lying next around the corner. One thing too that I find interesting about this game is that you don't have any way to defend yourself and no way to fight the monsters. I will say the one thing that I don't really like too much about this game is how difficult the puzzles are. But that's what you have YouTube for. So if you get stuck on a puzzle, just YouTube it and it'll show you how to do it. This is another fairly short horror game, but definitely another one that I highly recommend. And number 4 is going to be Alien Isolation. This game is absolutely terrifying. This is a survival horror game set in an atmosphere of constant dread. 15 years after the events of Alien, the original film, Ellen Ripley's daughter Amanda enters a desperate battle for survival, on a mission to unravel the truth behind her mother's disappearance. Like I was saying, this game is absolutely terrifying. If you're looking for a fun sci-fi horror game, this is definitely it, and I highly recommend everybody playing this one. This is a really cool game too if you're a fan of the original Alien movies. Being able to explore the space station, it's awesome. Another great one I highly recommend everybody checking out. And number 7 is going to be Tormented Souls. This is a classic survival horror experience for all OG survival horror fans. While investigating the disappearance of twin girls at Winter Lake, something terrible happens to Caroline Walker. Waking in the dead of night, hooked up to some kind of outdated medical equipment in the bathtub, Caroline must fight for her life as she explores the halls of an abandoned mansion. Like I was saying, this is an awesome OG survival horror experience. If you're a fan of Silent Hill, as well as Resident Evil with all the fixed camera angles, you're gonna love this one. The story is really good, as well as the puzzles. This is a really good throwback and a really good take at OG survival horror. The gameplay is solid too. If you're a fan of OG survival horror, this is definitely one that you have to play. You're gonna love it. And number 6 is gonna be Monstrum. This game is a survival horror game where you're stuck on a freight vessel while being hunted by one of the 3 monsters, the Brute, the Hunter, and the Fiend. To survive, you must collect resources that will help you escape the ship alive. This is another great terrifying experience where you're stuck on a ship and you have to find your way out. You have no idea when these monsters are going to attack, and when they do, it's pretty darn terrifying. The puzzles are pretty satisfying as well too, and pretty fun in my opinion. And exploring the ship with no music going on, just this like dreadful drone ambient sound, it really causes this like tension and dreadful feeling. This is another great one for all horror fans. And last but not least is World of Horror. This is an amazing PC-style survival horror game. In a small seaside town of Japan, the population's sanity is dwindling, and otherworldly, grotesque creatures terrorize those who call the place home. In World of Horror, it's the end of the world, and the only solution is to confront the terror reigning over the apocalypse. Even though this may seem like an old-school tacky horror game, the images and just the situations in the story is pretty terrifying when you really get indulged into it. There's also multiple endings to this game as well, which increases the replay value. So yeah, if you're looking for a fun horror game, old school PC style, you're definitely gonna love this one. This is also a rare and hidden gem in my opinion. Another game you definitely have to check out, and I know you'll love it. Alright, well there you have it. There's 7 more horror games on Nintendo Switch I definitely recommend checking out. If there's other games you guys recommend that I check out as well, please let me know in the comments below. I'm into anything and everything the Nintendo Switch has to offer. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. With that being said, hope you guys have an amazing day, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Happy gaming, and God bless. Peace.